Hey, does your catfish taste muddy? I'm gonna show you how to get that muddy taste out and a crispy, crunchy bite every time. It is time to get in the backyard, get the grease hot. It is fish frying season for sure. But you know, there's a lot of ways that people can mess up a fried fish. And a lot of people think, I'm not gonna eat catfish, especially because it tastes muddy. I'm gonna walk you through the steps and show you what to buy, what it's supposed to look like, and the thing that is the star of the show, that crispy crunch that you need in every bite, and that comes from a resting on a wire rack before it's fried. I just want to show you something. That is a bad catfish. Now it said on the sack, farm-raised catfish. I don't think he was raised in the water by that color. I think he crawled around on the ground for half his life. Now when I was growing up, we eat a lot of mudcat or old yellow bellies because that's all that was in them farm ponds. And they looked a lot like that. But look right here, look at all this brown in here. That's what I'd call a mud line. And I mean, it goes way down in there. There's certain fish that have a dark streak in them like a striper, and you can cut that out with a fillet knife. But you go trying to trim this out with a fillet knife, you ain't got nothing left at all. So stay away from the bad catfish. Now, next, if you are lucky enough to go out and fish and catch your own, you can peel that skin off of them. This is a fresh catfish fillet. So when you're buying fish, look for that mud line in that package. You can see it in there. They're frozen fillets. But they're always packaged in a water base that's even going to make it worse. They get all mushy. Now, I have made a lot of fish fries in my life, and I have looked for a good white fish that I could buy in quantity, and I'll tell you what it is, folks, and if you've never tried it, you should. It is swai, S-W-A-I, catfish. They are clean white fish all the way through. Probably some of the best eaten catfish I ever had. But I do love a fresh fillet, I do. But say you caught a bigger catfish. I mean, you was lucky that day. And he's got a little dark streak in there. We're just gonna split this one right down the middle of the seam, and we're gonna see what it looks like. As you turn this over, I want you to look. You can see just a little of that mud line in there. So, it's really better to do when they're sort of frozen, just a tad, because they're easy to trim up. But if you take your knife and cut, and if you got a fillet knife, it's even better than that, and just peel this out of there, that way you get rid of it. Because who wants to take a bite of something that ain't good, crispy, tasty fish? So what you want left is a good white piece of fish that you don't see that mud line in. That's what we're after. But I got one more trick to take that muddy taste out of there. Now, I was on a ranch a couple of weeks ago filming for our new series, The Cast Iron Cowboy, and we were doing a fish fry. And there was a fella there said, man, we eat a lot of catfish, but sometimes it tastes a little muddy, but got a trick for you. He said, use Sprite soda pop. Let it soak in there about 30 minutes, and it'll take some of the muddy taste out. So we're gonna try it. I do know, he told me if you leave it in there too long, it will get mushy. So I'm gonna look at my watch, make sure they're covered. 30 minutes from now, 9:26, we'll take them out of there at 10 o'clock, see what happens. So he did tell me, do not leave that in there longer than 30 minutes. It will get mushy. Now this trick is not gonna take all of that mud taste out, but you're gonna get a lot of it out of there. And I know y'all been cooking fish a lot longer than me, some of you. What is your tip? What is your trick to take that muddy flavor out of fish? Leave me a comment, let me know. Now, you seen me cut those fillets up. Try to keep them in even proportions. That way they're gonna fry up about the same time. Now, if you're thinking, I want to fry the whole fillet, but you got to remember it's thinner on one end, thicker on the other, so always cut it. You're going to get a better fry time. But it's time to mix up the dry because the coating on the fish is nearly as important as catching that fish it is. We got about a half a cup of flour. We're going to get us some cornmeal. And they make all kinds of fish fry batter mixes that you can buy at the store. If you got a favorite one, you just use it. That's fine with me. I ain't got no complaints. We want this crust to have a little pop, so it's going to get a little sprinkling of baking powder. Next, cornstarch. Not only is it good for scalding and diaper rash for babies, but it helps the batter and the coating adhere to what you're frying. So we'll give it a little sprinkle, about that much. Original low sodium seasoning. It is new and you folks need to try it. This has got the same great flavor, but less the sodium. Now, if you ain't got it and you just want to use salt and pepper, that's fine with me. I don't care. All right, time to mix that up to dry. I always just taste and see, can I get the taste of the seasoning. I'm gonna add a little more. You just taste it and find out, because you don't want it over salty or anything, and that's why I like to use this low sodium on fish, but I want it to have that flavor. Time to mix up the wet. And it's about 1.5 cups of buttermilk. You can use milk and egg, but I really prefer buttermilk. I think it just gives it so much more flavor. To that, 2 hen fruit, cackleberry, rooster bullets, whatever you got. These good eggs here, they got a good shell. Real good.
What's your favorite thing about a fish fry?
I think my favorite thing about a fish fry, when I was growing up, we had them big old black kettle pots, big old 30-gallon pots. And they would fire it up with a weed burner, get that lard, just pure hog lard, dump it in there. And they didn't check it with a thermometer. When that grease was hot enough, they'd throw a match in there. When the match struck, it was ready to go. But people come for a fish fry. We'd have 40, 50 people in the backyard because somebody had been down there to Lake Texoma and we'd went jug fishing, catch all kinds of catfish and fry them up when we got back. Let's get this mixed. And I love to add me a little smoked paprika because I think it just brings out some really good flavor. Make sure you got this stirred up smooth. It's really nice and smooth and creamy because that's what we're after. It is fish frying time. Now, about 10 minutes ago, I think you would have started your oil in a deep fryer. Y'all hear that sound? Dooker, do you have to be so loud while we're filming? Get you some good high temp oil. Today I'm using peanut oil. We used to fry them in lard so many years ago, pure hog lard, but you want that temperature to run 350 and you don't want to smoke it, you don't want to burn it, but you want something that's going to withstand that temperature for a while. One tip that is very important, dry your fillets off a little, okay? You're thinking, why are we going to dry them off when we're going to stick them in a wet solution? Well, it's sort of like water and oil. They don't mix. The water that's on here, I don't want on there. I want it to let that wet adhere to it. So make sure you pat them dry. We're going to just place them in the wet. Get them good and covered right over in the dry. Now, how thick do you want your crust? You want to double dip, double baptize? I think we just as well. Back over in here it goes. Back over in the dry. Most important thing about this before you fry fish is they need to set on a wire rack for at least 5 minutes to let everything adhere to what's going on. You notice when I put this over here in the dry, I really tamp it on there good, pat it good and hard. I want that to stay on there and get a good coating. So make sure when you get them out of the wet and you put them in here the first time, don't just give them a little sprinkling. Give them a pat, 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 but use a little force on them. Fish frying time it is. I'm so ready for some fish fry. Guess what? Oil temperature is at 355. I like to start a little over because when this cold fish goes in, it's going to drop that temperature a little. Remember, they have dried on the wire rack. They are ready to be baptized. That is a beautiful sound. I just love it. I do. Catfish fried up. Don't overcrowd the boat when you're doing this. We just gonna put about 3 in there. All right, when you first put them fish in there, just let them sit there and just do their stuff, okay? You can move them just a little. If you think one of them is over there trying to hug up to the other and you're afraid they're going to stick together and be conjoined twins, but don't be turning them too soon because you'll knock some of that batter and that fry off there. I like to let them go probably 2 to 3 minutes till I can see a golden crust begin to form, and then we'll go flipping them back and forth, doing the fish fry yoga, See how that's already started? Oh my gosh, pure goodness it is. But I'm feeling a little generous today. I may even throw in a few hush puppies and some fried okra. That is a plate that brings back a lot of memories, it does. One thing missing, and I ain't got no garden. It'd be a big old green onion set up right there because you couldn't have a fish fry unless you had some green onion to go along with it. Now, I'm gonna break this one in half because I just know there's gonna be some goodness in there. I just wanna see in here what's going on. Here's some fish. Here's some more fish, clean and white in every bite. That rhymed right there. And I am going to have me some. Can you hear that crunch? I can hear that crunch. Set the hook. I got him. He's coming to the point. Did throw me on some okra right there. And I love these hush puppies, I do. We got videos on both that you can tie this into to go with your fish fry. Get in the backyard. Get the grease hot. Get the fish in there and go to frying. Invite all the neighbors over. Because remember, Jesus even said it. Be fishers of men. And he wanted you to catch some fish, but he also wanted you to feed all those around you. That's what it is to be a good neighbor. But it is with great pride, honor, and privilege that I tip my hat to all our servicemen and women and all the veterans that have kept that old flag flying over camp. We commend you all. We lift you in prayer daily. Rest of you, I need you to get up on in here real close. And for some of you new viewers that's just joining us, what's fitting to happen is called a group hug. I'm going to give y'all a hug, and you're going to hug everywhere around you. God bless you each and every one, and I'll see you down the crispy fried fish trail. Now y'all remember when we told you about that trick, soaking them catfish in that Sprite to get a little of that muddy taste out. So let's just break in here. And I can still see a little of the color in there that's a darker color, but it don't look as bad as it did. Let's see what's happening here. I am surprised. It's very faint right there at the end that you get a little bit of that old muddy water taste, but not near like it was if you hadn't have done it.